In each episode of this series, I will offer an applicant a blind choice of either a pleasant experience, a treat, or a darker trick. Following advertisements in the press, over 1,000 people applied online. All were sent a card saying they were being considered, but none of them knew if or when they were going to be chosen. These are the people I've selected, they just don't know it yet. Welcome to Trick or Treat. Tonight's applicant is Angela, a 22-year-old administrator from East London. She likes surfing, Australia and rock music, but dislikes earwigs, flying and blue cheese. She's currently employed as an office temp until she decides what to do next with her life. I've been watching her covertly for the past few weeks, and it appears she needs to escape from her day-to-day routine. As usual, I've been leaving a few visual clues for Angela that I'm about to pay her a visit. Angela is finishing up at the office, but she has no idea that we got here first, blacked out all the windows so there's no daylight coming in, and then hid cameras throughout. We spoke to every single one of the 48 office workers, and on the stroke of 7 o'clock they know to freeze when cued by a specific visual signal. Angela is now in perfect darkness. Angela?
Yeah.
This is Derren Brown.
Hello.
Now you applied to take part in Trick or Treat?
Yes.
We'd love to use you.
Great.
Now you know how it works. You're going to choose either a trick or a treat card. So if you pick a treat, it'll be something nice.
Mm-hmm.
If you pick a trick, then it won't be.
Okay.
Do you want to play?
Yes.
Good. Now, you need to sign your contract.
Okay.
I'm going to put that on the table in front of you.
Yeah.
That just allows us to do anything we like with you. And I'll shine a little torch so you can see what you're signing right at the bottom. Thank you. Now, you're going to choose one of two cards. One says trick, and one says treat. Now, I know you can't see them. Yeah. And the way you can choose it is by either putting your left hand or your right hand on the table in front of you.
Okay.
And tell me which one you're doing.
Getting my left hand down.
Your left hand, okay? I'm going to show that to the camera. Thank you, Angela. We'll be in touch. Angela doesn't know she's chosen a trick, but when she's least expecting it, I'll be kidnapping her and subjecting her to the most dangerous challenge ever attempted on the show. Over the next week, I'm going to train her in some esoteric 19th century techniques known only to a few people, which, if she learns them well, will enable her to cope with the task ahead. Over the time we'll spend together, I'm going to teach you some skills. And some of those skills you'll be aware of, and some of them you won't be aware of. But think of them as part of a jigsaw puzzle, which will come together to form a picture, but I'm not going to tell you what that picture is. You'll find out eventually.
Okay.
Just go along with it. Have a look at this. I'll tell you what this is. It's a set of manacles for a child medium back in the 1870s, 1880s. Yeah. Where the girl would put her hands through, they'd get bent round, and then this ring would then be attached to, a chair or a table. The idea being that she's secured and can't escape.
Okay.
Then the lights go out, tambourines and things start moving, and when they come back on again, it seems like she couldn't have done it because she was tied up. The question is, how could she essentially separate her shackles from this ring? And I want you to have a go and see if you can do that. And do have a good play. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. There were several closely guarded secrets used by the mediums that today are known only to a few people. One such secret was their ability to create a state of mind whereby they could simply slip out of the ropes and chains that bound them in order to move freely and create mayhem in the dark. It is this secret knowledge that I'm going to teach Angela to enable her to survive her trick. Seems impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, in the same way those spiritualists blurred the distinction between this side and the other side, between life and death, they also blurred the boundaries between inside and outside in order to make their escapes. The point being is that even in life, if you find yourself in a situation where you believe that you can't escape,
Yeah.
you sort of end up creating those restrictions. Whereas if you just see the outside as an extension of the inside, then you can make that escape without any struggle or effort at all. When you can do this without even thinking about it, I'll know that you're ready for what it is that I want you to do. I've told Angela that she'll need to try to work out the manacles puzzle whenever she has a spare moment. Unless she can solve it, I won't be convinced she's ready to proceed. In advance of Angela's trick, I needed to master a yogic technique that heightens self-control. Today's exercise involves increasing the length of time she can hold her breath, but first I need to see how long she can last without my assistance. Okay, so that was about 32 seconds. So that's your starting point. I'm going to try and double that. You're going to be doing this in the water. Okay, so I'll take your robe. It'll be a little bit cold on your feet. I'm placing Angela in the tank that is deliberately filled with cold water. This is designed to be uncomfortable and will make holding her breath an even greater challenge. I've placed a diver in the water with Angela for her own safety. Just hold on to the side, whatever's comfortable. So feel free just to close your eyes and really relax. Rather than thinking I've got to hold my breath, you're going to be focusing on a lovely image, some sense of a location, perhaps bobbing around on a lilo. This method of yogic breathing I'm teaching Angela, or pranayama as it's better known, is a process of using the mind to charge one's physical energy and slow the body's rhythmic cycle. In turn, her body temperature drops, the muscles relax, and her heart rate will slow down considerably. This is the same technique relied on by Houdini when performing his death-defying endurance feats. We've already established she can hold her breath for 32 seconds, but if she embraces the ancient technique I'm teaching her, we should see a marked improvement. Relax and enjoy. And if you think it's easy, breathe in and hold it now. Angela has passed her previous threshold and shows no signs of stopping. Angela has done brilliantly and almost trebled her lung capacity. She still has no idea what all this training is leading up to, but she's about to get the biggest clue so far. Well done. A lot of what we're going to do revolves around the idea of achieving a state of calmness. I'd like you to just pop yourself inside this sack. So if you turn her face that way...
Yeah.
And step into it. Having tested Angela's physical abilities, I'm now going to give her brain a workout with this logic puzzle. Imagine you were placed in a sack which was then pulled up over your head. The top of the sack is then sealed with a chain and padlock so tightly that you couldn't even get your hand out of the top. It's dark, claustrophobic and restrictive. Now the padlock is locked, and I'm going to drop a key inside to you. Now the key is on a piece of ribbon, it's on a length of red ribbon, and I'm going to drop that in. There's barely even enough room for that to go in, so I'm going to have to poke it in with my finger. Can you grab that?
Yeah, I've got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're now holding onto a key.
Yeah.
On the end of a little ribbon.
Yeah.
Inside a sack that is padlocked on the outside. You have the key on the inside.
Yeah.
Your challenge is to let yourself out.
Yeah.
There is a simple, logical answer of how you can do this, and I'm going to leave you until you either ask to be let out or you solve the problem.
Okay.
Now you're given the key that opens the padlock, but you have no way of getting the two things together. The key's on the inside, the padlock on the outside. After a while, your normal reaction would be to panic, thus clouding your thinking. Angela will hopefully remain calm and work out a way to free herself, much like the 19th century mediums did when placed in confined situations. This control will be important to Angela later. Must be getting hot.
Yeah.
Despite her circumstances, she remains calm and eventually works out the solution to the puzzle. Here is the solution. You hold the ribbon between your teeth. You feed the key out of the small hole at the top of the sack without dropping it, allowing it to be lowered down the outside of the bag. The key is now in a position where you can hold it through the material, only now can it be worked into the lock and you can set yourself free. Has it clicked open?
Yeah, that's open. Quite warm in there.
It is quite warm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done. My God, well done.
In any other situations, sort of, you know, being in a bag and chained up, I would have started panicking, and there were a couple of times when I did. As I went along, I got more and more used to the feeling of making myself calm.
Unbeknownst to Angela, she's going to be subjected to a physical and mental ordeal during her kidnap. We've brought her down to a training facility to assess both her physical fitness and how she reacts under pressure. If she fails any of these tests, we'll be forced to abort the rest of filming on the grounds of safety. We've enlisted the help of a survival specialist trained by the Special Forces, but due to the extreme nature of what lies ahead, he wishes to remain anonymous.
Been given a kind of a broad brief as to sort of what general areas to prepare you for.
Okay.
So today I'm going to give you a physical assessment.
Yeah.
We might start some training. It's going to be quite grueling, quite tough.
Yeah.
We're going to see how far I can push you.
Okay.
Head first, straight through. Quickly, run. Nose to the ground. Come on, move it. Move! Come on, push, push, push. Out, out, out. Put your nose in the mud and push with your legs. Quicker, move it.
The trainer has been instructed to push Angela to her limits and see if she cracks under pressure. Each aspect of her health needs to be tested, so for 8 hours she's put through a series of exhausting exercises that monitor her stamina, her agility and her tenacity.
Come on, down, down, lie your head. Come on,
But despite
you're
showing
there.
visible strain, she appears to have excelled herself.
How are you feeling?
All right.
Knackered?
Yeah.
Good. I'm actually really quite impressed with Angela. I pushed her quite hard this morning. Her agility was good. Her stamina was really excellent, actually. That was a good job.
The training has been a challenge itself, so I imagine that whatever happens will be a challenge. So I'm wondering what on earth might happen.
It appears she's not yet pieced it together, but 2 months from now, Angela will be kidnapped, tied up, placed in a sack, and thrown into a freezing cold lake. For the past few days, I've been training Angela in preparation for the most dangerous finale we've ever attempted on the show. She doesn't know what's in store, or even that she's picked a trick, but today is the final part of her lesson before she's kidnapped. So I haven't really given you any indication of really where we're going with this.
No.
You're just learning some skills, which will all come together at the end. I'd like you just to look at me right here.
Yeah.
But as you look at me, you're going to feel your eyelids just start to get a little heavier. And as you kind of listen to me and just let yourself relax. That's right, and heavier. And it becomes more of a struggle. That's right, just drift down. Imagine yourself tied securely, and through no effort on your part, other than just focusing your attention. And in the same way you can command a muscle to relax, you can also command the knot to relax. And just see those knots just slipping away. Now what I'd like you to do is to not only wake up, but to feel a refreshment moving through you. Feel good?
Yeah.
All right, grab your napkin. Stand up for me. Now, I'll tie this up. Now, if you give that a good pull, I need you to see that they don't just come apart. All right, I'd like you to unpick it for me. And what happens, what you experience is an increasing sense of frustration and annoyance, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. That feeling now, that you're feeling, is the feeling that is important. And that's what is going to drive this mediumistic state for you. I'm going to tie another knot. It's pretty much as tight as that's going to go. I should probably give that one more. Okay? I'll give it another tie. Really tight. Sensational. Okay, this is excellent. Okay, that's as tight as it's going to go, I think. Okay, so if I can take your hand, what you can do is you're going to put your hand over the knot, all right? Just gently like that. You can feel the knot underneath, yes?
Yeah, I can feel that. Okay.
And just keep imagining now as there's 3 or 4 knots, you're just going to create that mediumistic state and you just command those knots to come apart. And take a deep breath in. Just command it to happen. Then reach over with that hand, just pull one away and see if it comes. Look, look. Incredible. You've got that spot on. What does it feel like?
I can really feel the difference in my hand.
And it just melts apart?
Energy, yeah.
Congratulations, that's fantastic. For the next few days, training continues for Angela. Over this short period of time, she has honed her physical fitness and her mental acuity, and has inadvertently been taught all the elements she'll need to see her through the trick I've planned for her. Although she doesn't realise it, Angela's safety will depend on what she now knows. Congratulations, you are more than ready for what I have in mind. We then broke off all contact with Angela, and we left it for 2 months. The last time we spoke, I told her we'd be continuing filming at some point in the future, but I left the details deliberately sketchy. However, after 8 weeks of silence, it's now time to bring her journey to an end. It's 4:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. Without her knowledge, we've managed to obtain a spare key to her house.
Angela, wake up, wake up. Derren sent us. Your trick is about to begin. Put these on. There's a wetsuit and a boiler suit.
Her abductors have been instructed to restrain her hands with 2 genuine police-issue cable ties looped tightly together. They're designed to be impossible to remove. She's also being blindfolded to make sure she can't see where she's being taken.
This way.
Finally, her legs are bound again and again with gaffer tape.
Back, lie down.
With her hands and feet securely bound, she has no possibility of conventional escape.
We have to go. We're on our way.
Angela will now be delivered to me. She has no concept of where she is going or what is about to happen to her. She has a long, dark journey to her final destination. That's with her wrists cable tied together, her ankles gaffer taped securely, unable to see, trying to remain calm and hopefully using the time to access the mediumistic state that she's learnt. Eventually she arrives at Black Park Lake. This early in the morning the water temperature is barely 8 degrees Celsius. There's a fixed camera under the water. Other than that, Angela is on her own. Her abductors check that her hands and feet are still both securely bound and so bring her out to meet me. Angela, it's Derren. I'm just going to take your blindfold off. My eyes might need a moment to adjust.
Forward.
Just going to pop you in the sack. Just sit still for the moment. Okay. Now I'm going to tie this over you. I won't do anything until you're absolutely ready. Pop your head in for me. Now, I will count down from 3 to 0. On 0, I'll tip you in. Okay. You ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do whatever you need to do. You do any breathing that you need to. Three, 2, 1, 0. Off you go. There's a ladder around here. Do you want to come down this side? Show me your hands. Hands apart. Feet okay? Yeah. Amazing. Now let's get you warm.
It has all been a really interesting experience. I don't know how this worked. It's good to sort of learn about yourself as well, because I don't think I'd usually push myself that hard. Derren said to use the technique to stay calm because it was really, really cold in there. Luckily I got out of there in the end.